is salary.
Wasn't in the 911 either. I think it'd been in 911, but it's after 910. Down by the annex building, it's pretty deep in the folder.
All overs. Okay. Radio equipment, 112,000. Radio equipment, 112,000. Is that 14? Other equipment, 20,000. Find it?
Not for chairs unless it fell under that under
Well, that's
other
why
equipment.
it would have been under other equipment.
Well, that should have been a PSAP, other equipment, but and I don't know what's left in that line item.
Yeah.
They have one in her janitorial services.
For who?
Janitorial services.
Oh,
No. We've got telephone maintenance, $60,000. Then we've got agency funds for radio, 112,000. And we have other equipment, communication tower equipment, 14,000, and other equipment for PASP for 20,000. And that's it.
Kept it selling seed.
So I don't think so. Sheriff's fund. That okay with you, Jacob? Yes.
Get in a meeting, we'll figure it out.
Oh.
Okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. This chair. I can see. Now.
Yeah.
It's a little bit low.
Test.
Test. It is 6 o'clock. I would like to call this meeting to order. If I could have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Okay, been a motion to approve and a second to approve the agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
This time, please rise with me and join in pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first item up on the agenda is public comment. Does anybody have a wish to state anything at this time? Okay. Anyone online? Let's see. So I got just the one page.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. Engineers update. JD?
Good evening, JD King, Page County Engineer. Another fine day in Page County. The engineer update was sent out yesterday afternoon. Blades are out in district's getting pretty dry though. We're probably working on rock. I'm hauling rock with 3 trucks, a couple belly dumps and a tandem. They're backfilling the railroad cars on Kiwi Avenue. That project, at least the bridge replacement part of it should be done this week. There's some trees we're gonna take out along the east side to open that up again. I've got a crew that are seeding locations where we've been doing pipe work, an extensive list. With the mower, do mowers running yesterday for a while. Then again today in the southeast, farmers call in with harvest concerns, overhanging trees and such. And the number 50 tandem is in on the jacks for a winter service, and my two superintendents, Jeff and Jamie, are gonna attend a winter training session up in Council Bluffs tomorrow. Doing other things at the shop include some tire repair. I have routine, although tire repair is not routine necessarily. It's something we need to pay attention to given the safety issues. And they were prepping yesterday morning. They prepped the drill before they went out seeding. Our motor grader number 8 is still in Atlantic at the Ziegler shop, waiting mechanic availability. Also, the single axle truck that'll pull the spray patcher is at the dealership in Omaha. Our in-floor hoist was dismantled a couple weeks ago, and yesterday our guys placed concrete in the hole, and we have mobile hoists. They're very versatile, and the shop guys are quite pleased with how they work. We're in the engineer's office. We're doing project paperwork, closing out projects. On the agenda after the gravel connector stuff is the seal coat project. I have a final voucher. Now we did a final voucher back on the 30th of August also, but the one we turned in doesn't suit the DOT. So we're signing it again. M63 resurfacing project, we're waiting on the patchers from Henningsen. I spoke with Henningsen's today, and they won't be in this week. They may be in the latter part of next week or the third week. I would suggest that they'll be in not next week, but the week after that to work on the transition of the county line and mill up some spots where there's a bleed through. And Tom's here and we'll be discussing that further, I'm certain. So had some folks down to look at the bridge on 190th Street for the Middle Park. Attended the MINC conference in St. Joe, where federal, state, and local highway officials get together. We didn't attend it in the last couple years. They discussed grant programs, discretionary. I talked about that, disadvantaged transportation indicators. Everybody in the state has that. Culvert lining, we've done some of that. They have other techniques where they put a material in there and blow it up and then run a ultraviolet light through it to fix it, like they do, like the dentist does. One of the Iowa counties gave a pretty good presentation on base stabilization using chemicals. We've done base stabilization with cement powder. And Lisa, who's a part of the ICE, Iowa County Engineers Office organization, she's the District 4 rep. She's going to they're doing their annual conference in Des Moines Thursday and Friday, and she's part of the leadership there, so she's gone tomorrow also. Questions on the engineer update?
The hoist on the floor quit.
It turned out to be leaking, it was leaking oil, wouldn't hold up, yes. It was gonna be $40,000 to fix it, so we just,
And the resurfacing for the final project out there, what was that for that?
that's the seal coat work on Page Center, T Avenue and D Avenue. So it's turn your attention to the gravel connector project. So there's a map. There's a map with 8 locations. Would be the original 6 and then the additional 2. And then there's another page with some calculations on it and 8 segments, 6.2 miles altogether. You do the math on the amount of rock needed for that. It's 7,440 tons at $27 a ton to furnish and haul. That's $200,880, or at $28 a ton, it's $208,320. Last time we let a farm market project in April of this year, our cost per ton was $26.66. So I guess I'm requesting the board approve up $210,000 in ARPA funds to rock 8 connector routes as shown on the map.
When will the project be completed, or when would you expect to, time frame if everything goes well?
I have a note
Yeah, I saw
at the
that.
bottom. It's late in the season to be applying this much rock to dry ground, so it's our conjecture that we shouldn't rock this late in the fall, because it's gonna be a gravel road, so we'll be pushing snow off, or we don't want to push snow off. And to push the gravel, it's not gonna be tied down.
So April, May.
So in the spring, whenever it's fit to go.
You might not do all the towns at once.
Right, we'll probably split them in half anyway.
Okay.
I think it's a good thing, make some connectors here.
I make a motion to approve the request not to exceed $210,000 for 6.2 miles and 8 segments using ARPA funds.
I'll second that.
Okay. There's been a motion and a second to approve gravel connectors as presented by our engineer with ARPA funds and the amount of not to exceed $210,000. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, next item up is to discuss approve signing the final voucher seal coat project, FM C073 4355-73.
We handled this on the 30th of August, but it didn't suit the DOT guy. I'm not sure why. Something to do with the dates and probably interest. This is a silver job done this summer. D Avenue, double chip seal there. It's one a single seal on Page Center Road and T Avenue. The contract amount was $188,191.08. The final cost of the project was $476,468.02. And we need the chairman to sign this final voucher.
Yeah, we've already approved it once, already signed it once, so we'll sign again. Would there be a motion to approve the signature?
So moved.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Next up, Tom Wagoner is here to discuss the M63 project.
Tom Wagner. And I did hand out some copies of the plans a month ago. If anybody needs any copies, I've got them. And one thing, when this document was signed, to the best of your knowledge, it's a valid
Yes.
document. There's no addendums that you know of, no changes. So I guess that would be a question to the county engineer. If this is a valid document signed by the supervisors and approved, why were the plan details not followed? Not only in the very beginning on cold in-place recycling, which I sent emails questioning the improper width of the equipment and the resulting non-uniform depth, width, or placement of the roadway center line. No answer. Then when we really get to the good one on the north end of the job, and I contacted Chuck back in June about that. My statement was, needs to be removed immediately. It doesn't get better with time. So we're over 90 days, no action. And I asked at the meeting, was it on the 6th, 4 weeks ago, you know, where everybody stood on that. All three supervisors said, fix it. Alan, you said, fix it right. What does that mean?
Tom, I'm not sure what answer you're looking for. It seems like we keep going over this and over this again until Henningson's not back here until now. It's going to be another week and a half. They say they're going to fix it. I assume they will fix it correctly.
Did they prepare this document?
I don't think they would have, no.
I have an email from JD King, says he's one responsible to oversee that project, $3.36 million. Chuck, you want somebody with an engineer stamp. You don't know anything about it. You could put it in a thimble. That's not your job. Your job is to make sure a Page County employee does his duty. Failure to fulfill one's obligation, that is a definition of dereliction of duty. The obligation to make sure that project was done according to these plans, that has not happened. That is a failure to fulfill one's obligations. And so, as supervisors, are you going to fail to fulfill your obligations? $3.36 million. You drive down that project, I've asked JD repeatedly, what is the plan? We hear, we'll fix it, we'll fix it, we'll fix it. Do you tolerate that response?
Yeah, I do. Go ahead, Jacob.
I've asked a bunch of times on this, and I want to fix according to the plan, the detail. And I don't know that I have a straight answer either. How are we gonna fix it? Is it gonna be fixed according to that picture we all signed, according to the plan?
We're diving into the county line. And there's a dip there. Full strength, almost full strength. We need to fill that dip with asphalt, and maybe we need to grind off the bump on the north end. and smooth it out.
Why isn't that dip created from what's underneath of it to start with? If they'd have planed it up to meet, it would have matched the document we signed. It's all on the base, where the base meets, you start with the base. So the base is wrong, so we have to put a bunch of asphalt on top. Is that what the deal is?
There's a dip.
They created a dip with the base. I mean, you fix it with the base. I mean, that's basic farm knowledge there. I mean, so is it gonna, why is it drawn the way it's drawn then? It didn't work out.
You know, I think we're all adults in this room, and there's a 10-year-old out there that can see the dip. It is on the newly placed project. Has nothing to do with the county line. I sent to you an email. Have you documented the deviation from the existing improperly placed pavement and that deviation from the plan in the project detail?
I have a survey of the dip.
Do you have any documentation? I'd like to see it. You got to draw me a picture, I guess. I can understand a picture. I can't understand you not when, we're all adults here. I've seen a 10-year-old out there. He gets it. I don't know why adults in this room don't get it or totally do not. You can't sugarcoat something. It just doesn't get any better. You don't put a mistake on a mistake. I cannot believe what this says here that, you know, you weren't here last time, but I'll read it to you. I hereby certify that this engineering document was prepared by me or under my direct personal supervision, and that I'm a duly licensed professional engineer under the laws of the state of Iowa. What does it mean? It's not followed. You don't enforce the following of that. And you said to me in an email, you are the one responsible. Because I said I'd like to talk to that person. Does this document have any meaning at all? And who's in charge? Are you in charge? Is the contractor? How about the subcontractor that had that cute little smile and said his roller man was the one for putting the crown on the road? I stated at the meeting 4 weeks ago, that night over their debrief over their favorite beverage, they were probably laughing about how they pulled the wool over the Podunk, Page County, Iowa hillbillies. And that's not my fault. It's not your fault, or your fault. You are the one responsible. Period. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're right.
Thank you. So anyway, I get an email from Alan when our engineer gets back. Like, we're gonna find out. Did you find out anything?
I've talked to JD several times, Tom, and I've been happy with his answers. I've been happy with.
What are the answers? I've asked you about that. Where is the plan of action?
We're waiting on Henningsen's to get back here to finish the project. I don't know how to project the future, Tom. I can't see the future. I'm not sure why we're arguing this.
Okay, let's not argue this. Let's just go about the windows in the courthouse. If they're a foot short, what are you gonna do? Just because the installer said, we'll just.
I missed that part. What was that?
If the installer of the windows in the courthouse, if they were 6 inches too short, and he said, well, let's just put some silicone in there. Are you gonna accept that?
Most likely not.
That's asinine.
Most likely not.
That's asinine. Here again, who's in charge of the project? Oh, the contractor? The subcontractor has sworn and said the rotor man is in charge of placing the crown. That's sickening. It's so sad. It is sickening that on a $3.36 million job, that is so, there's no inspection. You can't even call it loose.
Well, I signed that document like you guys. That's what I signed, that's what I want done. It does seem confusing because I keep asking the same question. Is that what's gonna be done or not? Is it gonna look like that? Are they gonna tear that up and make it right? Or are they gonna try to scab over it? It sounds like they're scabbing over it to me.
If you scab over it, you still do not meet the profile of this plan, this document. And so I guess what I'm saying, if you think I'm just here arguing, and for some reason you and I are on different levels that we just don't get it, I guess I want on record as the chair of the supervisors that you choose to take no action on improperly placed piece of pavement on a $3.36 million project here in Page County. Each and every one of you. I guess I ask right now, let's put in the minutes. Are you just going to let this thing slide by? Or are you going to instruct the engineer to make sure the contractor ends up with the profile for that pavement as specified in these documents that you all sign and approve? Is your signature, is your word? What does it mean? Where do we get the truth at here? That's what's the serious. You talk about my passion. Yeah, I'm passionate about the truth. I hate manufactured stories. You know, I witnessed more time talked about rock on some dirt roads. That hasn't been swept under the rug, but I'll guarantee you one thing. You show me in the records where you have addressed the failure to follow planned documents on a $3.36 million project. Show it to me. Correct me if I am wrong. I do ask that.
I'm not going to respond, Tom. You and I don't agree on this. I'm not going to say anymore.
Okay, I'd like to have it in the minutes that
You can have it, whatever you'd like to have it.
no, I'd like to request this in the minutes so it's public record. That as chairman of the supervisors, you will
I'm
not
not going
even.
to discuss this content anymore about what our future is with that section of the road in this meeting tonight. I'm not discussing anymore.
In this meeting tonight, what about another meeting?
JD and I have had several discussions, so
Okay, is that public information? Because I have asked for that and I have not received that.
I haven't been notified of any information you need. So I'm sorry.
I asked what plan was going to be done.
We've had, excuse me, Ryan, I'm sorry. We've had several discussions and we're still waiting for Henningson's to get here. I don't know what else you want.
Well, I guess I want to know, are they going to follow the stinking plan? I mean, this is pretty simple. We have a map, we have a plan.
Who's in charge?
I want them to follow the project plan, JD. You got one person telling you that. Are you guys gonna tell him that or not? I mean, I follow the plan. Any contractor is supposed to follow the stinking plan. I mean, this makes no sense to me. That's why they
You
did it.
want to make a motion to,
Yeah, I'll make a motion that, I guess we have to do it that way, that
I don't know if.
we already have a motion. We all three signed that crazy thing. But I'll make a motion that we follow the plan as signed in place and make the contractor do it according to the specifications that are all laid out.
Or would it maybe be better for you to visit with Henningson's first and see what their plans are?
Henningson's works for us. We don't work for them.
I'm
I
just
mean, they
asking.
saw that when they bid it. I've done work for people. If it doesn't line up with what I said, I gotta go back and fix it. The way it, not scab it over and try to fix it. You gotta fix it right, especially on something this big. I don't understand why this is so complicated. This is really confusing. Are we scared we're gonna upset Henningson's? If I was Henningson's, I'd be upset that this was being brought up all the time. I'd come fix it anyway. I want the document I signed, I want followed. That's my one opinion sitting here.
Chuck, any thoughts?
Well, I thought 6 weeks ago when you were in, or 4 weeks ago, I thought we as a consensus, we didn't have a motion, but I think we told JD at that time we wanted to follow the document, so I'm not sure why we need a formal motion.
Well, I took it at your word. I said, you have my respect. Well, I'll retract that. I'll guarantee you because I had your word. That was my understanding. Now I'm hearing talking in a whole totally different direction.
And I guess.
We clarified our opinions, I guess. That's what I thought too. We did 4 weeks.
I thought we
That's
did
what
4
I
weeks
thought
ago.
we had.
Okay.
We said we wanted the document.
Just follow the plan.
JD wasn't here that night, but I know that we've talked since then, so.
And, you know, I guess we all hope by now we would have seen and heard from Henningson's that it would have fit into their schedule to have been here, but
As long as when they come, they do it right, according to what we signed, that's what I'm after.
Let's go back to where's the plan? I get the email, well, we might know wider. I said, what width are you talking about? What depth? I asked, are you gonna sample? So you know exactly what you need to remove. No answer. Where's the plan? I've asked for the plan. And if you don't have the plan before the contractor gets here, you're putting the cart ahead of the horse. I don't get it. I mean, this leadership, management, you're lacking terribly.
Is there a motion on the table? There can't be a motion, there's no action.
Yeah, there's no, yeah.
So we have a
So we have
motion.
on the record that we
Yes,
clarified
we-
our consensus, I guess we
did,
clarified.
Yes, clarified the consensus that it needs to be fixed correctly, yes.
And so do you disagree that county engineer should follow the detail on these plans?
Do we get what? Say that again, I'm sorry, Tom.
Are you saying that the county engineer should make sure that the detail on these plans are followed as to the end of the project, the north end of that M63 project? I guess that's one thing that has not been cleared. The second one would be the bleed areas. I've asked, how many of the over 20 areas have you identified and marked? No response. Is the contractor gonna tell you what he's gonna do there?
That's one more.
Is the contractor gonna tell you how wide, how deep, or are you gonna sample, or are you just gonna shoot in the dark and make some kind of estimation on what has to be removed as to the width, as to the depth of that unacceptable pavement?
Mill outside, the bad areas,
What's width, what's depth?
3 inches.
What are you gonna do with the underlying material that bled up through the 3 inches of the hot mix? Are you gonna leave it there?
The oil is not from the coated place, it's from the mix.
From the coal in place recycling? Where did the oil come from the base?
From the mix. From the mix.
Hot mix, cold in place. Would you please clarify that?
The extra oil is in the mix.
Hot mix or cold in place recycling? Clarify that, would you? You're telling me Henningsen, that showed up, that's from their hot mix?
There's not enough oil in the coated place.
Well, I guess you don't know that till you do sampling, do you? I guess if I was a contractor and you accused me of that, I guess I would be sampling. I would keep everybody honest on this deal. I wouldn't take loosely thrown out statements, and I've heard a lot of them on this $3.36 million job. So you're not gonna sample? And who's gonna determine the width, the depth of milling? Who's gonna determine that?
We will,
Who's we? Please clarify.
inspector and I,
Okay? So your inspector's name is
Mike Knox. Mike Knox.
Mike Knox, okay? But at this point in time, you've only marked out what, 2 or 3 areas? Correct. And there's over 20? Would you agree with that?
I haven't found.
Well, there's about 8 in the first mile from the county line south. There's about 4 of them right here in the first mile north of Highway 2. Now, we're up to 12. And we still have what? 5 and 7, 4 and 7. We still have about 9 miles left. And there's some in those area too. There again, How many days has passed? Haven't even identified it. Oh, and then we're gonna wait till the contractor gets here. Hurry, 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 and we're gonna try and spit out some kind of magic plan? Is that the way it operates? Yes, no, I mean, I don't know, how do you operate? Do you, when? They might be here this week, they might be here next week. When are we gonna mark this out? Is that, is that too much to ask? Or we're gonna wait till they're here and try and smear a bunch of stuff over and then say, boy, we fixed it. Aren't you so proud of us? I'm a duly licensed engineer. Man, I've got it all under control. You don't, sir, you don't. So anyway, as I understand it, nothing, there's no plan right now. As far as milling out, you don't know the depth, the width, you don't know the limits of the acceptable mix, the unacceptable mix. We're waiting on the contractor because we don't know what to do. We're gonna wait for them to get behind the steering wheel and drive this thing. Same way on the end of the project. You haven't any data to show me tonight as far as the deviation from the detail on this plan. Is that a correct statement?
Survey back.
Can I have a copy of that? When did you do that? Really? Seems to me like everything's like I've got a secret, you know, I just asked for something simple and no answer. No answer to me is no action. Because I know nothing different.
All this sampling, all these spots there, do you know how to do that? I'm just asking, is that something you know how to do? The sampling, the asphalt, to figure out what the problems are? Or do we need to have some third party come in? I don't want the contractor doing it.
That gets complicated because you have to do an extraction on the bituminous material. So gradation on aggregate's one thing, but when you start getting into AC or bituminous content, that's more complicated, more costly. But anyway, I'll say one thing. You know, I do consulting, that's on a project, it's for a publicly held company. You don't play games with them like I have witnessed in on this deal. You put up or you're gonna be out of there, trust me. So I think there's been a failure. Well, I think it's been shown. It's been shown there's the county forces have not been in the driver's seat. The one subcontractor that did the cold in place recycling, he just did what he wanted to. Did he have your good grace? Did he ask you, hey, I'm gonna be using a machine that's gonna overlap a foot over center line? On the first pass, it'll do the same thing. On the second pass, the paver's gonna pave it, put it back in place, which the crown will be shifting 12 inches on this side and then 12 inches on the other side, the center line. Did they explain that to you? Were you aware of that? Or did they just do that and everybody said, oh, well, okay.
Steam was not so.
That screed is flat on that paver. I understand them very well. I'll challenge you to that any day. The foreman even told me, I said, how you get the crown in the center? He smiled. The smile I'd like to wipe off his face. That's his job. I said, is he the screed operator? No, he's the roller operator. You don't place material and think you're going to take a roller and shift it over and move it. If you think that, you shouldn't even be involved in that type of work. It should be hire an engineering outfit. get somebody that's gonna have control. I mean, if you're gone tomorrow, Page County, they get to live with this thing. And it isn't looking very pretty, it hasn't for quite some time, but yet, nothing is done. We just sat here and, oh, we don't want to hear about it, Tom, because you and I don't see eye to eye. We may not see eye to eye, but I think that's pretty poor for a chairman of the supervisors to want to discount or discredit me standing here today with facts, just because you and I don't agree. But if that's the way it is, I guess, yeah, I can go talk to a post. If nothing happens, you know, I might as well quit talking. But you guys wear this. You're supposed to be in charge, you're supposed to be the managers. You do nothing. Taxpayers get the crappy job that has allowed to take place. And there again, that bituminous material coming up through, if you don't get it all, how much more comes up next summer? This just isn't a quickie little one-time deal. Whatever's down there is still down there. If you don't remove it, it'll come back. It'll show up in other places. But anyway, since you will do nothing, then I will end.
Do we have it on record? Well, we did, we clarified. We're doing something there. I mean,
Yes.
we clarified what wasn't very clear, I guess. The plan's gonna be followed, that's consensus. That architect plan.
The end of project detail.
And the project detail is gonna be followed according to that document we signed.
Because that has nothing to do with Page, or excuse me, Montgomery County. That's 54 feet back is where it drops off up to even 7 inches. And there again, a 10-year-old, he got it. He could see it very clearly. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Next item up is to discuss approve the window project, south window changes. I'll pass this over. I'm sorry, I looked at that. I forgot to pass it over. Show some changes that they have found that they're going to have to make.
What is it? Have you read it yet? What is it?
Yeah, I did. It's about the,
Duct work.
yeah, there's some duct work there. There's some issues they found. You see anything in that you can share with everybody? I'm just reading it.
It'd be easier to go look at it actually on the wall or something.
Yeah, I couldn't explain.
Figure out what's going on, but actually, looking at which window is the south, the big south window.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see.
Like a vacuum in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure quite what they're doing out there. Moving ductwork, that's what it says.
There's some duct work in the way. I gotta engineer, either move the duct work or engineer something to make that window fit the way it looks to me.
Move metal louvers and replace this squandrel glass. No, that's not right. It's spandrel, silicone glass. They work to exhaust between windows. So fines are doing work, I guess.
Yep, yeah, it's just part of that.
This is the only one, I guess, this is the first one they tangled with. Is this the only one with that problem, or?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I would hope it. when they discovered it, they would,
Have a
Look
look
at
to see
the
if
other
there's
ones.
any
yeah,
other
look at the other
ones.
ones. And I would assume they did, give them the benefit of the doubt. But if you want to hold off and wait and ask them if they,
Any other options or anything? I don't know. if there is.
Well,
if they've looked at other windows, or we can have this change order times 10, or.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it wouldn't hurt to wait a week unless they're trying to build the window in right now, or put this window in right this minute, or.
I don't think so. I think I'm sure they can wait a week.
Okay, let's
Just to
wait a
see.
week and look. It's probably what has to happen.
They've been communicating because we assigned Melissa to kind of be the
Right.
point of contact. And she didn't indicate that there's urgency, this has to be done tonight. I just like to know.
if there's any others.
Yeah, if they've done their due diligence, look at the other ones, make sure we're not gonna have to go through this.
I'll just, what do you call it, table it or something?
That'd be
So
my
next week.
preference.
There'd be no action.
No.
Okay. Next item up is to discuss approve using ARPA funds for 3 dispatch chairs, total of $5,812. These chairs are described as, how do you call that, 24/7? Yeah, chair, specially made for dispatch work. Did you find out anything from Summer on the question we had? About if it's anywhere in the budget? Or is that on that stuff?
So, Alan, to answer your question here, while JD was talking, I was trying to get some information on that. Basically, in the meeting where the chairs were discussed with the former EMA Director Grieber, the chairs were discussed, the laptop was discussed. Chuck was in that meeting. According to what the notes that were taken that night for the minutes said, they discussed the dispatch chairs, the EMA drone, and the EMA laptop, as well as software for dispatch at that time. And it was discussed that the chairs needed to get purchased. I don't have the minutes directly in front of me, so I can't say that for sure. I'm just going off what the lady that took the minutes had texted in one of our dispatchers.
When was that? When was that meeting? You remember?
Well, that was back in the spring, I think it's that May, huh?
They thought it was February.
Oh, my bad, go back to February.
I've got a question. Have these things been purchased?
Yes, they were broke to the point that,
Who shopped for these things?
what?
Who did the shopping for these chairs?
I think the dispatchers, I think Summer was involved.
We had them look them over. I
You
looked through
oversee
some.
it?
I oversaw.
And you're good with this price for these chairs?
That's what the chairs that you're gonna sit somebody in 24/7.
Well,
Cost. I know they're expensive.
hang on, Lyle.
And they don't even look close to that.
I don't know a thing in the world about chairs. I'll get that. I'm not gonna say I do, but I have to know some people who do. And so today I called down to MTE in Maryville, who says they have a relationship with Page County 911. They have accounts up stuff. Roger Baker down there, I talked to him and said, Roger, I sent him the chair that's been bought. I said, here's the chair they're buying. It deals in chairs, has for 2 generations. So I said, can you just send me something as good or better? Within an hour, I had 5 chairs. Papers out here. I mean, I don't want to be the one shopping for chairs, but they range from, and these are 24/7 dispatch chairs, rated 500 pounds, it was all given to you, and he said, if you don't like these, they range from, look at the prices here. The lowest one is $444 at 5-year warranty, to the highest price one they said was $657. There's a range, a little different.
What
stuff.
brand were they?
All kinds of brands. And does that
Go
even,
ahead.
these are 24/7 dispatch chairs. I didn't have time to call my friends down. I have some friends that are dispatchers down there. I should have called them after they got their chairs. This price is, I feel like, and I got on the website of this outfit, and they charge $400 to ship these things here. Roger said he would bring a chair up next week when he's in Corinth and let him try it out. So what's it cost to ship these things back? This is in my mind, I understand they need to be good chairs, I get that. But this is 3 to 4 times the money
Well, I understand.
on a and I said I want apples to apples, all right? So I see, and this local guy, bring it up here, and I'm sure there's others around here, I didn't know to call, I just called one guy. It took a matter of 5 minutes, and then in an hour, he had me all this stuff. I am in no way all right with this. I have had, since this was on the agenda, call after call after call after call, what's a $2,000 chair, basically. So if it costs $400 to ship them back, or whoever did this drives them back up there, I think ought to happen. And we talked to some local guys and get some chairs ordered, let them test them out. Even if we pay to ship them back, it's still less than half price, even buying the most expensive one he sent me. So this is, I'm not saying don't get good chairs, but this is, I got on that website, it seemed to me like there was, it was a government made for dispatchers and stuff, like this website, this little company. And I don't know, it's like you hear the toilets in the Army for 3 times the price they sell them to the government, something like that, I don't know. But I don't doubt it's a good chair, but I think it's way too high.
Well, I know the dispatchers went to Omaha and they tried different chairs out. Cheryl Williams tried some chairs out to get a feel for what they were.
So,
And has anybody seen the chairs that they were in? I don't know how much they cost new, but they've been there since they've been down there. I mean, they're ripped up.
no, Chuck, I believe that's the second.
Is that the
Second chairs that we've had.
Oh, is it?
And they were over your $600. I don't know who this guy is, but I know that I've gone to different schools where they have vendors come in with different things with chairs and stuff. And we've seen chairs as much as $3,000 a chair.
So you think this chair is
I've sat
3
in
to
it
4
today.
times better than a chair? I don't, and then they have a 5-year warranty, so you get one every year, every 5 years you get a brand new one. On this, the other chair has a 6-year warranty, it has a 1-year more warranty.
So here's what I'm gonna say.
In the private sector, this would not happen. I'll say that, it would not
What
happen.
I'm gonna say is, we have sat in different chairs. We have tried them. The dispatchers in Shenandoah have tried different chairs. They have tried different chairs in Florinda. You have tried them at Pagecom now, since Pagecom was put in. What brand of chairs did you, I just got a text, let's see. So these chairs are called concept seating chairs.
I looked at the picture of the chair, I looked it up, it's actually a pretty plain one myself,
It's not anything fancy.
but
It does not look anything fancy at all. But it is a chair that you can sit in for 12 hours straight. And the next person comes right in and sits in it for 12 hours. They're a
So you're
bigger.
telling me you're sure it's 3 to 4 times better, you know that for a fact?
I saw them. I looked them over
You saw
today.
what, you don't know them?
The chairs, they're down there.
You haven't compared it.
I haven't compared them to those, but what we had, I have compared them to, and if I recall, they were quite pricey when they were built.
Well, if they come from one of these government people that sell to government entities that charge 3 or 4 times more than they maybe should, I don't doubt it was pricey. It's shocked me, it blew my mind away. What's that? The invoice, this? It's $1,800 a chair plus $400 shipping. Well, the other thing is if they didn't have this in their budget, why did they go ahead and purchase it before? I guess if we're gonna use our money, we didn't talk about why that.
Well, I went down to, after an EMA meeting, I went down to dispatch and it was disgraceful that we have employees sitting in the kind of chair and said, you need to get some chairs.
Well, yeah, I made a phone call today and he said, bring one up to test out. And there's other people too, I'm sure. I just called a guy who has a business, multiple generation business in Maryville. So this is nothing new to him. Get them some chairs. I'm not against them sitting in, I don't want to have bad chairs, just we're spending, it's not.
I think to Lyle's point, if this is second batch of chairs, those are $500 or $600.
This is the third
chairs.
batch, I believe.
Third batch. So you get what you pay for, Jacob. I'm sorry. I know the Baker family. I've known them for years and they do a good business. And yes, they're more local than Omaha, but you get what you pay for.
In Omaha,
And we have, the other reality is we don't have, and I don't know how to say this without being offensive, but our dispatchers are not 110-pound dispatchers.
Oh, that was all specified. I said, because I saw it was a heavy duty chair. And I said, you've got to make it, all these chairs are rated to super, strong, heavy duty chairs. They're not Walmart chairs. So, and even if you double the price list, when you went to these office places, the best chair they could possibly come up with, it's still 30–40% off these. So I
So
I
these-
want good chairs, but this, I think this is exuberant, and I think it's when they take advantage of government entities, when they order through these things. I don't think you're getting that much more for the money.
so these chairs are concept series.
Yeah,
I just got the text here. They are the 3150 model, 3150 HR, 3152, and 3152 HR, owner's manual for all of them. These are the heavy duty.
yep.
You can sit in them for 24 hours, 365.
Mhm.
I've seen a lot of chairs at a lot of different schools I've come to. This is not the top of the line chair. This is not the top of the line for
I
dispatch.
think this place is gouging our eyeballs out, is what I think on the chair.
The prices, the last one I saw was several years ago at winter school. And if my recollection is correct, it was over $3,000 for a chair. These are not a leather bound, anything fancy chair.
It says, please find attached some options for 24/7 dispatch chairs. I didn't say all.
Are they concept series? It's just like
I
buying a
sent him
different
the
tractor.
exact model. I sent the exact, that model you're talking about, and these have the adjustable lumbar, adjustable sides, the weight, the whole thing. I said, match this chair. I didn't tell him how much the ones cost we were looking at. I said, you gotta have one this good or better. And he sent me, and he says, I got a bunch more if you don't like these. We can go in the heavy duty 24/7 dispatch chairs. I didn't say price me a Walmart sitting an hour a week chair. I didn't say that. So he's just one guy. There's other guys too. I just want to call. So, and he offered to bring one up. Well, they charge us $400 shipping just to get these crazy things. So anyway, I think this is, I'm fine with getting good chairs, and I don't like buying junk. I go the extra mile all the time to buy better stuff, but I don't like, I think this is, I do not think this is, I don't think the prices reflect the quality. I think they're way more than what it should be for what we're getting. I don't think, and I understand you've seen $3,000 chair, that's fine. People do all kinds of crazy things. Like I said, in the government buys $5,000 toilets. I mean, it makes no sense. Get a good chair, but I think there should have been maybe some more shopping, especially if it wasn't in the budget. Do a little bit, take a week, shop a little bit more, don't know.
We did look around.
And
To
they-
government pricing chairs that are made for 24/7.
I don't think this is, I mean, I do not think this is wise in the current cost of this. I guess I made that point, and I've only called for a little bit this afternoon, but I think there's some more research to be done. And I would even say it should be done, even if we have to pay to ship these crazy things back.
They're already assembled and already been used,
Wow,
and it wasn't.
Lord.
I make a motion that we approve the ARPA funds for the 3 dispatch chairs and the cost of $58.12.
I'll second that, and I'll just say again, this isn't $500, it's about $6,000 on chairs, and I don't want them sitting in bad chairs. But there's been a lot of time, there should have been some more looking, and like I said, if you do a 40-mile radius around here, even one guy you could have called, I'm sure there's others. This should have been looked at, and again, you can buy several. This seems very, very exuberant for the price for what we get. And I do not think this is a wise decision, and I don't like how it's played out. We've got budget time next year and all these things. I do not think this whole spend it and then ask for it later. So it needs. it's
We
outside the
can't
budget.
swear that it was or was not in the budget at this point.
Well, coming after the fact or something, and have already purchased it, is, I do not like the way that is, and I don't think that's right. I myself, best to tolerate. I mean,
Well, you can be mad at me because I told him, say, go find some chairs. This is a disgrace. You can't work
well, get some chairs,
24/7.
but then you better, then at least before you make the purchase, I mean, they pull the trigger on $6,000 chairs.
They looked around, they talked with other dispatch centers. They did their due diligence.
They
They're
did
the
look
ones-
around, Jacob.
They're sitting in the chairs and, you know, we talk about management and stuff. Yes, you don't want to throw money away, and I understand.
I don't want
But
to
that's a
throw away.
$500 chair. I bet you a dime to a donut hole, that's what they spent on the chairs that they've replaced now twice.
How often you have to replace it?
Well, that dispatch center was put in 14, 12, 14,
No, it was 15 or 16.
15 or 16? And we've already gone through 2 sets of chairs?
Yeah, where's the warranty? The one I have here, this heavy duty one, I said, don't get me your normal Office Depot chair. I said, get me one 24/7 chair. I took a few minutes to make a phone call.
So-
This is ridiculous and it should not have been done
So
until.
prior to this, I was not in charge of that part. That was done. I don't know about the warranty on that. I don't know where the information from the previous chairs were.
And what are they? And I'm gonna be willing to bet that those chairs they threw away are not these, because I was very specific with them. These not the funky that works there. You
We didn't throw them away.
So-
Most of them are still sitting down there.
Okay, but I didn't go to Home Depot and talk to some guy on the floor. I'm dealing with somebody who knows what he's talking about. His
Roger's a
name's on the
good
line.
guy, Roger, so I
So-
have no problem.
That's why I thought I could get some accurate information here, not just, I got on the online Home Depot and looked up a chair. I wanted comparable.
Okay.
So anyway, I do not think this is wise right now. I don't know what to do. I will not vote for doing this. I've already spent it. It should have to come out of the budget, I guess.
Okay, then a motion second to approve using ARPA funds for the 3 dispatch chairs of $5,812 that have been purchased for dispatch. All those in favor? Aye.
I'm opposed.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Board communication?
Fourth Judicial District met Wednesday of last week's last meeting before January. Like many places, they are scrambling to find people to work, correctional probation officers. I think Kip had probably 10 or 12 openings that he's trying to fill right now. Human Service Council meeting at noon today. It's kind of a thin crowd. And then a homeless committee meeting this afternoon as well. The committee had gotten in really late on a HUD grant, and we did not get the HUD grant. So the initiatives is really kind of at a standstill. It includes clergy from Shenandoah, Clarinda, and the region has some resources they put into it that are really kind of helping coordinate some of the education efforts.
How many people total are in that group, homeless?
Today there were 7 at the meeting, but there have been as many as 10 or 12 that have been in and out of that. And then let's see, the only other question I have is, do we have an update on the concrete at the public health parking lot?
They
What?
said, Gene commented, or I'm sorry, let's see if I can find that email from public health. I believe October 8th is when they're supposed to be there.
So can I suggest if they're not there October 8th, we go find somebody,
Yeah.
because they were gonna be here in July.
Yeah, I know.
It's just ridiculous.
Do you want to talk to Gene and?
Is Gene coordinating?
Yeah, he's been coordinating. He's been in touch with R&R, so.
Because I know they had a COVID clinic with that.
Yep. That was when Richard talked to Gene and myself.
It wouldn't take it very long, I wouldn't think.
No. Let's just. see
And
if I
yeah,
can
they were gonna be
find-
here, I believe in July, late July, early
Yeah.
August, and then they postponed it. I'd say October 8th or.
Let me see if I can find Gene's text. He's sent a text out, and I thought he'd probably sent it to everybody. Maybe not. Okay, and this came on, no. That's not the one. Well, the email went. I know that I got one from public health regarding it. The
Right.
week of October 8th is when.
Okay.
I thought I remember seeing something, but I'm actually
Yeah.
showing up. I don't know when that was.
Yeah, but I can't remember where it came from.
No, I saw something.
So next week, in other words,
Yeah.
I should be there. That's
Well, there's gonna be, I thought it sounded like he was gonna start on Saturday. So he was
Oh,
hoping
okay.
to be in town on Saturday to start when there'd be nobody around. So, but there again. So, but I think like, do you want to talk to Gene? Or
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
send it to Gene.
See what he thinks, what he knows. Jacob, anything?
Yeah, I have a bunch of stuff. We had a jail kind of a planning catch-up meeting type thing the other day.
Mhm.
And looking at different options and things and where and what, where it might put it and things, brainstorming ideas. And tomorrow, we've set up a time to go, just of the several things to look at. One of them is like the old lodge. We're gonna walk through it, we're gonna inside of it, we're gonna
Go
look through
through
that, I
the
guess. Go to the old lodge on the mental health.
Oh, okay.
Or on the MHI, old property. And then I have a landfill meeting tomorrow. So the big things is the jail from last week, and I had another question about the Thursday morning meeting. And I'm trying to understand what I think in emails. The attorney, we're talking to be advised on the situation. With the lawsuit,
ICAP, yeah.
is it insurance paying for the attorney meeting or not? Did that get done or are we paying for it?
This would be, I would assume, ICAP.
I think it's.
Yeah, this is an ICAP
You
meeting.
call Melissa, she'll.
Yeah.
I assume we waited this long. I think
Yeah, come
they
through.
had a meeting with ICAP on Monday, and I assume it was their sign.
Carl can help us, but I don't want to spend any money. I want to wait on the insurance. I don't want to spend any money on, as the lawsuit isn't asking for any money. So, anyway, okay, that's what I have. Landfills tomorrow.
Well, Bonzi Mental Health last Tuesday, and then I've got an RPA meeting where we're going to be finalizing some projects with those tax dollars that come through the state. A couple of bridge projects, one in Atlantic or Cass County and one here in Shenandoah. There's a couple of different projects that we're going to be okay that is used with some of the RPA funding. So that's on Thursday afternoon.
Not to be confused with ARPA.
Yeah, it sounds a lot like, that's what I was thinking.
It's not ARPA money, it's RPA money, RPA 13 or whatever.
The landfill's Thursday, I said that wrong. Tomorrow's jail, Thursday's landfill. I said that wrong.
And the days.
Days are all mixed up there.
So did the RPA is the one that with Shenandoah falling below 5,000 population that they're.
Yeah, that was the one that had to have some agreement to accept them in, and also there's another, they're concerned about, I think, either Red Oak or maybe it's Red Oak that's going to be in that same boat at some point in time too. So, but the RPA dollars, there's a bridge, and I think it's the one on Southwest Road is the one that they're going to get some funding for. We received funding, have received several dollars in the past in the county. All the counties work together on that, and quite a bit of dollars have come through each year. But I believe on the agenda, if I remember reading right, there's a project up in Cass County that has to be approved, and these are TIP amendments, and you know, they work with different projects such as some of the activities with like the trails and different things like that. Anything that can be done to help expand transportation needs for the area. They deal a lot with, you know, their SWIPCO has applied for some dollars for electric buses. They may have talked about that at your, in this RPA discussion that'll be some things we'll discuss on Thursday. So it's kind of a conglomeration of different things that aren't just SWIPCO, it's a feed off of SWIPCO. So. Okay.
Hey, one other thing, talked with Richard at Public Health, will and need to visit with Carl. Carl's been pretty busy. We need to get an MOU between us and Public Health so they can administer the
opioid funds. Okay. Yeah, I saw his note the other day. He said it sounded like it's pretty easy to do and.
Well, he's easy for him. I mean, he's dealt in that
Yeah,
world.
yeah.
It would be so confusing for us.
Yeah. Sounded very positive. And I'm just going to share with you, I received this today from copy for each of you. to look at, this came from ISAC today about the carbon pipeline issue, the carbon capture, basically to boil it down, and you guys can take it home, read it, and then we decide when we want to put it on the agenda. If we do, they're asking for a $600 voluntary donation from each county in the state of Iowa to pay for this study. Basically, that is minimizing soil compaction on agricultural lands during utility construction on wet soils. So it's going to be a study performed by Iowa State, and it'll be to benefit everybody in the state. I think there's 70 counties that are affected by the proposed pipelines, but they're asking all counties to support this. That was kind of where the ISAC ended up coming after all the discussion. And then I don't know if you guys saw in the news today, Montgomery County did agree to hire Ayers and Cooney for their support work on the issue of writing the ordinance and doing an ordinance similar to what some of the other counties have been doing. So
On the pipeline.
On the pipeline, yeah. So it's something else to maybe do a little thinking on and see if we want to put that into the mix of this, and maybe decide if we want to put that on the agenda to approve. I would guess that if they're doing it in other counties, it should simplify things quite a bit if we're all alike. And I don't know how it compares to what Shelby County started out at, but I believe it did read that there's 4 or 5 other counties that are using Ayers and Cooney in the area right now with this project. So.
Well, they'll get the same product, because I think Shelby County used Ayers and Cooney in their development.
Yeah, and that's why I think Montgomery County ended up doing with it. And their legal counsel recommended that you need somebody that's geared for this to make sure nothing is done wrong in the ordinance. So anyway, that's all I had. So I'll let you take that fact sheet home with you on ISAC, and we can decide when we want to put that on the agenda. So I think they're looking at a November date is when they hope that everybody makes a voluntary contribution.
Did you sign that?
Yes, I did, yes. Okay. Claims, all been approved?
Yeah, I make a motion to approve claims submitted.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Minutes.
I will say this is an update. I went down at the meeting last week and looked at that door. Oh, maybe I'll look at the door.
Oh,
It's just, that door is like a wood interior door, hollow. And it was a 32-inch one, it is, but a deadbolt exterior door, the house, simple house, metal deadbolt door would fix it, I think. Wouldn't be very expensive, but would greatly increase the
security.
security.
Okay.
I went down and looked.
So,
at it
and
last
I
week.
understand you didn't have to open.
No, because the,
City
we
got.
had plumbing problems.
Yeah, we had plumbing problems
And
where the
so-
ladies shut down.
So it was shut
And I
down,
had-
and then I said, well, was the men's good? It means, well, I'm the only one that uses it, so I mean, it hasn't really been tested with 1,000 flushes.
Have we heard anything on the plumbing? Have you
Yeah.
heard any comments? They do it because they're going to do it.
They're gonna do a camera.
Yeah, camera on the lines. So
So, you know, that door, I think.
I think Wall and showed up that day to fix what they had, so.
I think there's a fairly simple remedy to the door. It would be a lot better door. The door that's there is not very good. So,
Well, you know, whether, we know the restrooms are open during the day, or will be, or probably will be, so you want that secure.
I think we should fix the door. It'd be a few $100. I mean, it's not a major thing, I don't think. It'd be a good thing.
Well, I make a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All motion we adjourn.
Okay,
Second.